Find out what the truth is. It's out there, prove it. Out here with my druids, smoking, oh my goodness. Ball like Patrick Ewing, right like Frederick Douglass. V's up, 2 times, see it's us, yo. W, been in front, but never been a buzz. I've been enough, need a bump. Adrenaline, I let it pump, like wake me up. She gon' suck like Dyson.
All right, let's
Well,
do
did
it.
you read the Fauci emails?
Let's do it.
Yes.
The Freedom of Information emails? That's really crazy. Because
Well,
first of all, he's admitting
that's the
in
proper
these emails
response.
that masks don't
not-
work.
was he?
No,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, he talked about it.
No,
talked
he
about it
didn't.
openly.
That's
Wait,
just-
I didn't know that part. I knew.
Yeah.
I only.
No.
Here's
I thought
the
you were going
thing.
to talk about the.
Well, that too. But here's the thing. But part of the email was
Here's the thing.
look,
He didn't
part of the
actually
mask
say that,
conversation
but-
with Fauci has always been that at the beginning of the pandemic, he said masks didn't work. But then he said the reason he
never
said
said
that
that.
is because there wasn't enough masks for first responders and hospital staff, and he wanted to make sure that the supply wasn't diminished. So he
I always have to point out, like, this narrative and narratives like it completely erase, like, the past year. Like, they love returning back to shit that happened in, like, late February, early March. Like nothing else happened since then.
said that he didn't tell the truth, right? Okay, but in these emails, he's also these are private emails. He's
Right.
saying masks don't work.
No.
For real?
Yes.
No, that's
he's
not what he
saying
said.
they're not
That's-
effective for what you
No.
outside of a hospital setting. That these masks, like for personal use, the kind of cloth masks and
He's just a straight up. He's literally just lying. Like, I don't know if he's doing it intentionally. He might just be an idiot. But what he said was that the virus shows a lot of signs that it's probably airborne. But if you wear a mask, you protect other people if you have it unknowingly, because you won't be passing it airborne. You'll probably be passing it in like water droplets. So the mask will definitely protect that. And again, there are masks that do protect you from it. Yeah, cloth masks maybe won't, but like there are masks that don't let viruses in. I think that's the N95. I could be wrong on that. But again, what he said in a private email that was not like professional advice that he was giving as acting director of the CDC or whatever. He had a personal friend asking him, do you think I should wear a mask? And he said, well, you're going to a low risk area. Again, this was very early on before we even had like any kind of quarantine or anything. And he said, you're going to a low risk area. The mask thing is really just to protect other people if you unknowingly have it, or especially if you do have it, definitely wear a mask. You shouldn't be going anywhere, but if you test positive or whatever, even if you don't have symptoms, but you test positive, then yeah, wear a fucking mask. Quarantine for 2 weeks and we'll get through this. But people like fucking Joe Rogan just have to just ask questions and act like this is all some kind of weird conspiracy that I don't see the fucking point of, that it has no end game.
Yeah.
paper masks that everybody's wearing. They're not effective. They're not
Cloth masks,
they can't-
bro, not
Exactly
paper
what did
masks.
he say? Let's pull it up so
Yeah.
we get exactly what
Yeah,
he said.
maybe you
But
should
that's
do
not
that.
even the
That's
big
probably a
part.
good idea,
The
Joe.
big part is
think you
he's
should do
talking about gain of function research in the Wuhan lab, and he's concerned about it and thinking whether or not they had paused that and whether they're still doing that, and he's trying to connect the gain of function research in the Wuhan lab with this COVID breakout and whether or not that's where it came from.
Right.
And
Why is that a big deal?
because they funded it. The NIH funded these people who funded the gain of function research in the Wuhan lab, which means they're responsible for funding the very research that led to this outbreak, if that's where it came from.
Right.
So all this time when he's been saying it came from nature, there's no way it came from a lab. Well, that's shifted, right? Now everybody's saying
now
it came
everyone's-
from a lab.
Right.
Right.
Right. But then not
because
confirmed
the
yet.
evidence.
Right.
But the evidence is pointing
Yeah.
as it's most likely that it came from a lab. But this whole time, Fauci's been
Again, I think that's another lie. I think it is still most likely. They have a lot of strong evidence that it came from a similar virus development chain from bats, and that's why that is still the prevailing narrative. But yeah, there is also reasonable doubt that now maybe it did come from a lab, and I think they were late to the ball game. I think there was a lot of bullshit like covering up in the media and refusal to even address like what seemed to me is pretty shallow science. But now they have this narrative falls apart because now they have come out, now that there is at least some more unavoidable solid evidence that even the CCP couldn't hide. Now people are taking it seriously. Like I can't fault people for that. That doesn't, like, I can not like it. I can criticize it, but like I understand the bureaucracy of it.
Saying it didn't, but you see in his emails that he was concerned.
Well, concern, but isn't that like just trying to figure out?
And it's a
what the
private email
information
as
is?
opposed to fucking.
I mean, because he doesn't definitively know
official
either, right?
state.
There's a lot of indications, according
recognition.
to the email, that he's talking to another scientist.
Right.
The scientist points out the variables or the components of the virus that seem to indicate that it possibly came from a lab. But publicly, he's been out and out dismissing that because
To
he's
what
connected
end?
to that
Because
research.
yeah.
He's connected to the very
Who
research.
is this?
they were
Tom
doing
Papa?
there. It's really complicated
Yep.
shit.
Yeah.
Come on,
Rand
Tom.
Paul's been grilling him.
The eyes of the nation are upon you, bro. you gotta push back. I love it. He's trying to. It's tough. Joe's a big voice,
Seen those things? Here you go. Typical mask you buy in drugstore is not really effective in keeping out the virus, which is small enough to pass through the material. It might, however,
give him
provide
credit.
some slight benefit in keeping out gross droplets if someone coughs or sneezes on you. I do not recommend that you wear a mask, particularly since you're going to...
Again, private email. Like, this is not him saying... If he said in the private email, like, yeah, I'm saying that we should use masks, but really, I'm just making... I make 3 cents off every mask that's sold. Ha, ha, ha. He actually types out, ha, ha, ha. And then continues the email. I don't think you should wear a mask, though, because you're my friend, so I'm going to tell you the truth, that masks are actually fake. Like, if he said that, okay, you might have an argument. I might be on the fuck Fauci train. But this is ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous, dude. And the fact that even Joe Rogan is parroting this now just shows that he's a total righty talking head. He has the same talking points as all of them. They get it sent out in an email with a big picture of Trump's cock in the headline, and they're all like, "Ooh, nice. Okay, what do I do? What do I say?"
This is just him saying that these drugstore masks are not really effective.
Right.
But this is in an email after he has said publicly that you didn't have to wear masks because they didn't really help. And then he's saying this, and after that he said, well, he wasn't telling the truth there because he didn't want people to buy all the masks. But then he's saying this after that in an email that they don't really work.
All that.
But yet he's wearing a
But
mask.
that's literally this was February, bro.
Kind of like there is shades in that. There's like the
gross droplets.
But and if you're in a low risk location, like what's his motivation to?
This was February 5th or 6th.
Why would he profess masks if he thought?
Well, because that's the
parcel
narrative.
that
First
they
of
don't
all,
work.
The narrative is everybody needs to
I
mask.
can't even look.
Right.
I can't look at the comment section.
Why?
Because it makes people feel safer. A, it helps people get back to work. B, and it obviously is providing some benefit.
Oh yeah, some benefit. But who needs it, dude? Because lives don't matter. All lives do not matter. So, who needs to provide some benefit to those small minority of people?
Yeah.
So, listen, this is my take on it.
They're weak, dude. They need to take more vitamin B, and brain force. If they took more brain force, then they would survive. And if they don't want to do that,
Things happening because the flu case.
I don't think that Fauci is talking about masks to like harm people. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like they're just have limited information and are trying to muddle their way through the best that they can. Like what?
Shout out
That's not
to
the real
Tom
problem,
Papa, bro. He's handling
this.
this.
It's a small problem. The real problem is this gain of function research shit. This is the very research that they were doing where they were juicing.
What is
up
gain of function?
They were juicing up these viruses to make them more infectious, and they were practicing, like trying to use. I think they use human lung tissue and try to get the virus to be more. The idea is with. I mean, I'm going to butcher this for sure, but I think the idea is when they're doing this research, they want to find out what makes these viruses more infectious.
Is Fauci really like in there, like, you know what I mean? Like,
are you defending Fauci? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, like
bro.
I don't know.
Yes.
I think that he's
Why are you
put
making
up
me
as
do this?
someone
like
we
Fauci.
can take our fears and anger and throw it at. But is he like? He may be part of like, these things are huge. Like there's a big board of people that decide what they're going to research. And
you got to read these emails. You got to read these emails.
I
and
know.
read.
You got to read
Do you
them,
think
Joe.
that he's evil? Do you think that he is?
No, I'm not saying that.
So what do you saying?
I think someone
saying, bro?
fucked up.
Uh-huh.
I think
Shout
they're
out
trying
Tom
to cover up the
Papa,
fact
bro.
they fucked.
You tried it with the wrong one, Joe. You should have had one of your fucking chucklehead yes men idiots bootlickers and you would have been able to ramble about this all day. Not a single fact. Tom Papa, wrong one, bro. This is his house now. This is his studio. Joe, this is now the Tom Papa experience.
Okay.
I think the whole reason why they've been saying that this thing came from nature, it's a natural spillover, is
Right.
I don't think they're saying that because that's the most likely scenario. I think
You
they're
have
saying
no
that because
basis
they fucked
for
up.
that, bro.
Right. Now,
And they,
You have zero basis of that. Why would okay, if that were true, why would they now be coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, maybe it did come from a lab"? Like, didn't they already successfully pull it off? Wasn't the narrative killed? Why would they bring it back? Such a fucking brain dead take, bro. Brain dead.
they didn't want.
I feel like they didn't want people to know, but we knew the truth, and the truth, I think, came out, and now they know. Like,
one
what are you
to
saying,
know
bro?
that they fucked up. And I think
Right.
having the position of power and having the position of authority that he had, he could say, there's no indication this came from a lab.
who is they? Who fucked up? Like, what is this?
Well, the lab in Wuhan for sure fucked up.
Okay, so who runs that lab?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that the NIH
I know
funded
nothing,
an
but,
organization
I feel
that gave money to an
like-
organization which gave money to that lab.
Uh-huh.
That's the official story.
Got it.
And this is the
Like, who
story
is,
that
like, 'cause I
Rand
always-
Paul talked about
Uh-huh.
when
This is like extremely effective rhetoric on Papa's part. I really gotta say, he's putting a lot of legwork in here that I think I would get too triggered to even be able to handle this right now. I'd be like, Joe, you fucking moron. What do you like?
he was grilling
bald
Fauci.
thumb of a
This
man.
is also what Josh Rogan talked about.
You're getting
Right.
too much sun on
Journalist
that
that
cranium.
investigated
You're
all this.
roasting your fucking
What
brain,
Josh
dude. It's
Rogan was
melting
saying
in
was
there.
that during the Trump administration, everything was so chaotic, and everyone's wearing spacesuits, and me and Duncan are high as fuck wandering around this place.
No.
Yikes.
You brought Duncan?
Yeah, me and Duncan went down there.
Oh, that's great.
And the
just-
guy was saying that
We need Duncan back, bro.
But my little sister is missing, so I have
Duncan's
to go
got the
find her
facts.
first.
That's what we need right now.
what he's really worried about more than anything is
Yeah.
things that come from nature.